Hello, everybody. It is me, Epic and today we're here talking about Arifureta from Commonplace, the World's Strongest, episode 4. Okay, so, wow. As soon as when I saw Yue get mind controlled again, I was just like, literally, we saw this last episode, or we saw it in episode 2. I think it was last episode. I was like, literally, just saw this, and it literally, when she got out of it, it was like very like weird how she got out of it using holy water. Like, man, his holy water that he got from that spring is just has like a use for like literally every little like thing can just be like solved just by using that holy water. Like you like you got his arm broken off, just have some of that holy water and it can just like make it so that way you don't die. After that, when Yue got like mind control the second time, I was like, dude, we saw this last episode. Don't do this to me. Boss that they're fighting on, like I guess the last floor, because I think I remember this monster. I think it was. I think this monster looks exactly the way that it did, if I remember correctly from the manga. And man, that monster looks like a 2000 video game monster. Like man, that thing looked ugly as hell. Like man, I've seen like CGI. Like that did not look like CGI. Like I think that the monster from the first episode looked better than this monster, but at least this monster tried to look kind of detailed. But man, the way that it moved, the way that it did things, like dude. But it was like a six-headed snake. What was it? Is it called a hydra? Is that what it's called? And like apparently each head was a different color. I think it was red, blue, black, gold, white, and I think yeah. No, I think I only said five, but yeah. Apparently they all have different abilities. At first I thought that it was gonna be like different elements, but apparently no. They all have different like techniques. The black one was mind control, and then the golden one was protecting attacks, and then the white one was able to like heal everyone else, or was able to get stronger by relying on the other like snake heads. And then the beginning of the episode was really weird, seeing how when they got into the floor, I get like we saw the whole entire relationship thing like towards like the 8 minute mark of this episode, but I like it how they just randomly start holding hands, like literally that just came out of nowhere. And then after that, like the we saw a huge like thing like open up, and then apparently they're thinking that this is the Maverick's lair that Yui was talking about last episode, and then they're like had to fight off against the boss in order to I guess get to like the main exit, because I'm pretty sure that they said there's an exit in the Maverick's lair. They start fighting it, and then of course they're like doing nothing to it each time that they attack it. Like Yui was just using like lightning attacks and stuff like that, using her random like blue balls, fireball things. And we saw how Haji was just shooting with his pistol, and the snake kept on regenerating. And each time that they tried to go after the whitehead, which I think that the whitehead is the like the weak point that they just can't get it because they keep on healing. Like how there's one point where like where like Yue is trying to like attack like trying to attack the snake, the white snake head, and then like Hajime is off somewhere else fighting off against like three other heads by himself shooting monsters. And that's when the black snake came out of nowhere and just slapped Yue with its head, and then she just flew to the ground. And Hajime just does not notice whatsoever. Like, dude, he's like so distracted with his snakes that he just doesn't even like see how she's like almost getting destroyed, and then she ends up getting mind controlled by the snake, and then she ended up getting saved by the holy water. And then the second time, or I guess after that, like after he saved her, man, that scene was so awkward. Like I guess it makes sense, but man, I just like it how like he just looks at her, he's not saying anything. He like grabs his hand, puts it on his head, just like trying to think of something, and then he ends up kissing Yue. We see them kiss, and I'm just like, dude, did you already forget about the girl that you liked, the girl that liked you in school? Like, I guess like he doesn't care anymore. But man, when I saw that scene, I was like, dude, he just went in, kissed her, and then and then she was just like, wow. And then I guess like he like ended up saying that how they need to be together, and then she ended up getting a power boost after that, lightning, shooting wind. She's using three attacks at once, shooting like lasers. I was like, dude, man, the power of love right there. Like they two just get it on, and then now they're just powerful. And then Hajime just goes in to like try to get his rifle that he randomly like didn't even have his rifle on his back anymore. I guess he thought that it would easily get destroyed, but he kicked it away off to the side. Like man, like I have no idea why you throw your strongest weapon away and only use your pistol, even though that you're fighting off against a monster that's way powerful than you. I guess he is. And then after that, Hajime ended up getting hallucinated from it as he was getting close to his thing. But yeah, the first 9 minutes of this episode was pretty good. It was okay. Yeah, but I'm enjoying it, and I can't wait to see what happens in the middle parts of this episode. Okay, so I just watched from around 9 minutes to about 16 minutes, and I like it how Hajime just ended up going into the Matrix realm, like towards the 16-minute mark, where like they don't even explain how it happened. I guess it's because like I need to watch the ending of this episode that they might explain it, but I like it how like it just happens out of nowhere. So then we saw how Hajime prepared his railgun attack, and he ended up shooting the monster, ended up defeating three of its heads, and then Yue just fires her blue fireballs again. But this time it can shoot lightning, and then defeats the other two heads, and it falls over and dies, but only only the white heads left, and you think that it's gone because when you first see it, you see all heads going away, but then somehow the white head ended up coming back, but it turned gray, and then it ended up shooting like a laser blast at towards Yue because for some reason it was more interested in Yue than Hajime. I guess like this place was, I guess, built for her if she was like stuck on one of the floors. And then we saw how it shoots a blast at her, and then Hajime goes in to saves her, like taking on the attack. And I like it how like I guess like I'm just saying this. This is from my point of view. We're supposed to see that this monster is like super powerful and super strong. I like how it shoots its green blast at Hajime, and the only thing that that blast does to him, it shoots all over, or maybe just hit one point. It only got his eye. It only got his right eye. He only lost his right eye, just like in the opening song. You see him like with an eye patch and stuff like that, and you see him with getting like a metal arm or something on his with his lost left arm. And I like it how like it only gets his eye, and then he falls over, and then of course Yue starts crying and stuff like that because he's down for the count, and then she needs to go in to tries to like save him. How like I said this before, how like the snake looks like a video game character from the 2000s. It acts like a video game AI too. I like how it just sits in one spot. I guess it's because it can't move. It just sits in one spot, like makes two purple orbs appear, and then just shoots relentless attacks at where Yue is taking cover, and then just keeps on shooting. And I like it how like Yue takes Hajime's gun and then like tries to I guess like before that she like tries to wake up Hajime by like she keeps on like trying to like feed him his holy water, and then she ends up trying to like suck it into her mouth and like tries to like mouth to mouth it like a few times. She did like 4 bottles, but it did nothing. So then she ends up taking Hajime's pistol and then goes in to tries to like attack it. And I like it how like the monster switches from its relentless attacks to just laser beams that just go randomly all over the place, and it just completely just misses her like completely. And I was like, dude, is this snake retarded? Is it really acting like a movie character that just can't like get that one, or just like a video game character? They just shoot all over the place instead of just shooting like the player that they're supposed to shoot at. And then she ends up getting like hit, and then she ends up falling over and then losing the gun. And then she ends up trying to reach for the gun but can't reach it. And then of course like the snake is just like, well, I'm not gonna go after you, I'm just gonna go after Hajime. So then it shoots a blast at Hajime, but then randomly Hajime has a vision. He wakes up and he's just like, oh, I can sense slash hear that Yue is crying. I need to save her. And then like it like the snake goes in for like another one of its like blasting attacks, so it shoots like a breath, and then goes in. It hits Hajime, but then Hajime dodges it. It like goes in, tries to hit Yue, but then Hajime catches Yue and then like grabs her and dodges, and he's just like, these attacks are too slow. So just like I said, it just turns into a Matrix thing right now where he's super powerful and he's able to go through super fast through time. And definitely very interesting. Music in this middle part of this episode was definitely very interesting. Like, man, that music don't even have any words for it. But I'll be back to review the ending of this episode in a few seconds. Just watched the ending of this episode, and all I gotta say is that when they showed Hajime's perspective going back to him just laying down, I was like, wait, did him like randomly getting up to saving Yue just ended up being like a fantasy of his? Like in his head, was he hallucinating? But then I was like, no, wait, they just did a flashback of like how he ended up being able to do what he did. So then he randomly just like thought about him. He thought that it would be bad for him to like not be able to save the girl and to save Yue, and to like not be able to get up and actually do something. So then he had like a power boost where he's just like, I'm going to kill you, saying that to the snake monster, and he gets up and he has like a huge like lightning aura around him. He was going Super Saiyan, and then that's how he was able to like be able to move super fast and stuff like that. And then when Yue like ended up sucking his blood in order to have power boost, because Hajime ended up telling her that he needed her magical spells in order for like defense and for attacks and stuff like that. Hajime rushes in to defeat the monster, and then I like it how like he defeats it by throwing grenades into the roof and then like shooting them later on in order to like do it. But then as he's like in the air trying to put the grenades up there, I like how like the snake tries to shoot another blast from its mouth at Hajime, then Hajime just goes, "Whoo! I can go super fast," and just dodge it by like teleporting like all the way back to the floor instead of like being up in the air. And the snake just ends up not hitting anything. Then Hajime has to shoot their grenades, and then ends up. I like it how like the whole entire roof falls onto the snake, and I like it how when it falls on the snake, it just slowly just drops and just lands right on it. Like there's no like animation or anything. It's slowly falling and landing on it. Yue ends up doing like a huge fireball attack. Like before, we saw her little ones and her medium sized ones. She just like a huge large one that's like super big and crashes it down on the snake, and then it ends up just dying instantly. And I guess that's how they ended up defeating that. And then after that, we saw Hajime fall over because he's like beat and stuff like that, and he can't move anymore. and then like Yue ends up like crawling up to him, then just snuggling him, and they fall asleep there, which was a pretty cute scene to see. We go back to the students at the kingdom again, and we see that the teacher character, like the little lolly character, is like arguing with the king of the kingdom, saying how she doesn't want the students to fight anymore. Like when literally when they got there, it was the students that said that they wanted to fight. Like she argued before, but she's arguing again, and you can't like not tell them what to do. Like they're in a world with special powers. Like her apparently her power is farming, and she's able to help like the farming efforts there in order to like it's like to supernatural like lengths, I guess. And then like like you expect like the other students to have like these offensive abilities, to not be able to like overpower the lolly teacher, which I guess like I have no idea. There's probably only gonna be like the weak students or the students that don't want to die. I think are the ones that are probably going to like not do it. But I think that they'll end up going into peer pressure in order to be with their friends and stuff like that, instead of like listening to the teacher. The king, you can tell that the king is like wishy washy. You can't really figure out his personality right now. I don't even know it either. Most of these scenes that we see, like I haven't even seen any scenes like this in the manga, because it mostly just focused on Hajime's perspective the whole entire time. And then after that, we end up going over to all of the students. Apparently, they got to the 60th floor, so I guess they're close to Hajime, or maybe they aren't. I don't really know how these subtitles work. And we see how apparently Shirasaki Kari is still worried about Hajime, and then the other students can like tell that. I like it how like the night dude, like literally, I knew that this guy was bad. Like he couldn't have been like a good guy. Like clearly he tries to I guess like sort of like hit on her slash not hit on like her by telling her to like stop worrying about like Hajime, and to stop like having it like affect her mind and stuff like that, which is literally this like even like what was it, Shizuku, the sword girl, like she's just like, hey, don't do that. Like I think it how like none of the classmates understand that Hajime and Shirasaki were like best friends in the human world, and I like it how like they don't understand what that would do to your mentality if you lost your best friend in front of your eyes, and you couldn't do anything because of how powerless you were. Like, man, that guy was so insensitive trying to like get in there. Same thing with the red haired guy. The red haired guy hasn't tried to get in there like at all. Like he's just like in the background, like being like a scaredy cat after he like ended up killing him. And then we see how apparently all the other students are just trying to be very supportive towards her. And then the episode ends with them just like getting ready to like attack again because they were taking a break. And then the next episode's title for episode 5 is like them actually getting to the Maverick's lair, like I was talking about in the middle part of this episode of my review. And yeah, definitely very interesting. Really like where the story's going. I think that I might need to read the third volume of the manga now, because I have the third and fourth volume, and and like I know that the layer part is probably only gonna be half of the episode, and the other half of the episode is gonna be the bunny girl, and like the bunny girl was the ending of volume 2. So I guess we're done the first 2 volumes so far in 4 episodes. So who knows how fast or how slow they're gonna go for the rest of the episode. But yeah, if you enjoyed my review, my thoughts and stuff like that on this episode, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy this, serve a dislike. And yeah, if you yeah, I'll see you guys later, and bye.